7th grade English class. You are ready for page 19 and 20 and just going over some things that you're going to be learning about today. On page 19, I hope you have your book open and you're at page 19. An expository paragraph, a descriptive paragraph, a narrative paragraph, and a persuasive paragraph are things that you're going to be learning about on page 19. Today you're learning quite a few different things, and I hope it's not too hard and I hope you can keep your thoughts together. You guys have learned about these different kinds of paragraphs already, so this is a little bit of a review. Remember, an expository paragraph is when somebody tells a story and they give facts or examples to, An expository paragraph is where you explain how to make something. In other words, I think I've talked about already, you could use an expository paragraph telling somebody how to make a paper airplane. And you use facts or examples to explain your idea. You give information or you tell how to do or make something. So how to make a paper airplane, you would tell somebody the different steps, how to do it. A descriptive paragraph is where you give sensory details to describe people, places, things, experiences, or feelings. Remember back a couple books ago, you guys wrote paragraphs out, and I think one of the examples was we wrote about a campsite. You guys remember that? And you wrote about what you've seen at the lake, what the wood smelled like, what the, I think you talked about the food you made, what the air felt like, all of that. I think it was talking about a campsite. That's called a descriptive paragraph, where you give sensory details to talk about what you're seeing. A narrative paragraph is where you tell a story and it may be developed through examples, facts, or sensory details. So you can use a narrative paragraph to tell about a crazy dream you had one night. You're telling a story and you're giving different examples or facts to talk about your paragraph. A persuasive paragraph states your opinion. In other words, you use a persuasive paragraph to, I think I had given before a reason why everybody should use Dial soap to shower with. You just think it's the best soap, it cleans the best, it smells the best. You have such a good feeling after you've showered. You just think everybody needs to use Dial soap. It's your opinion for persuading. You're persuading somebody to think like you do. And you need to give facts or reasons. You don't just say, oh, I think Dial soap is the best. Well, why? Why do you think we should use Dial soap? And you give different reasons. Or why do you think everybody should like bacon? Bacon is so good, but why? You would give facts or reasons why. All right, then they give you 4 paragraphs on page 19, and they all come from the Swiss Family Robinson. You are to say whether each is expository, descriptive, narrative, or persuasive. There's 4 paragraphs, and there's 4 different paragraphs that we just learned about. Each one of these is different, okay? And you decide what it is, and then it says because, and then you have a blank. So in other words, if I say that the first paragraph is descriptive, it's because they used sensory details to describe people, places, things, or experiences. That's what they want in the because. It's narrative because it tells a story. It's expository because it explains an idea and gives information. That's what the because is for. So I'm going to let you guys do that page. You need to read each paragraph and then say, is the paragraph persuasive, descriptive, narrative, or expository? All right? Now going to page 20, it says order is very important in a paragraph, and I agree. For instance, if we tell somebody how to make a paper airplane and we tell them the last step before we tell them the first step, you can't do that. It's important to put it in order. And it says, read the following information and complete the activities. So, chronological order is one way. You can use spatial order, and you can use order of importance. And chronological order is the order in which things happened. So if you're telling somebody about your dream, and the first thing you say is, I woke up out of my dream. No, you would say that I went to sleep and I started thinking about this or whatever, and your dream happened in this order. That's called chronological order. Or if you want to say this is how you make your airplane, you need to start with the first fold and you tell somebody how to fold it. That's chronological order. It's the order in which events take place. The next order is spatial order, and that's the order in which things are seen from a definite spot. So I'm looking here in the classroom, and I see Casey's desk is over here on the left, and then I can just describe all these desks going around in the classroom. But I don't pick back there in Travis's desk, and then I jump over here to Casey, and then I jump over here to Cheyenne. No, I start here at Cheyenne, and I just go right down the row and end up over here at Casey. That's called spatial order, the order in which things are lined up. The order of importance is when you arrange things from the least important to the most important. Or the other way around, the most important to the least. But it's the order of importance. In other words, if you trying to persuade somebody to use Dial soap, but the most important thing to use that it smells the best. It's the best kind of soap to use. But is that the most important or the least important? You don't want to just jump around and give different details. No, when you're using order of importance, you either start at the bottom or you start at the top and you work up and down. All right, so it says, going back up to the top of the page, use chronological order in a narrative paragraph. Start at the beginning. Remember, a narrative paragraph is when you're telling a story. You start at the beginning and you continue in the order to the end. It is helpful to use words like first. So like if you're telling somebody how to make a paper airplane, you could say, first you need to find a nice piece of paper, certain size. Next, you need to fold it down this corner. Then you fold it this way. And finally, you open your paper up and you've got an airplane. So it says it's helpful to use words like first, next, then, and finally, when you're telling somebody importance. Which paragraph on page 19 uses chronological order? So over here on the left, one of these paragraphs uses chronological order, and you are to put the number. Is it number 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which paragraph? And you're going to want to put number what? Which one do you think? Then, you guys have some writing to do. Number 2 says, on a separate sheet of paper, write the rough draft and final copy, which do it one time. Just write it neat and write it once, of a narrative paragraph telling about your first day in school. Now, maybe your first day at school was not it's not even a big deal in your mind. Maybe you can't even remember what was it like to go to school the first time. If you can't remember, just make something up. That's okay. Just imagine how you would have felt on your first day of school. And you're supposed to write a narrative paragraph. In other words, you're telling a story, but make sure it's in chronological order, okay? Maybe you want to talk about how it was when your mom got you up, that you were so excited, looking forward to your first day. You had new clothes to wear, or how you felt when your mom dropped you off at school, and who your teacher was, Probably can remember that. Just different things about your first day of school. Write 5 to 6 sentences in your paragraph about your day at school. Okay? And put it in order. The next thing is about spatial order, where I talked about, you're doing a paragraph from left to right, just saying what you see. One of these paragraphs over here that you read on the left is a spatial ordered paragraph. Which one is it? Now, you're again writing another paragraph, and you're supposed to describe the platform of your church auditorium. So, pretend you're sitting back, maybe you're sitting at the back of the church. Back of your church, what they want you to do is start either at the left or the right and say, so I'm sitting at the back bench of my church, and I'm looking to the right, and I notice a potted plant on the right, and maybe you have a little table up there, or maybe up on the wall you have a board where you write things. Somebody writes a nice sentence up there, a nice saying up there. And as you move along, we have the pulpit. It is carpeted, has steps going up, and it's carpeted, has benches on the pulpit that the preachers sit at. There is a place where the preacher stands when he preaches on Sunday. I don't know, maybe you have a cross or something on the wall. Maybe you have a saying behind the pulpit on the wall. You can say that. And as you go on to the left, maybe I'm not sure what all you guys have at your church. Just kind of describe it. It does not have to be fancy. It's not going to be, you're not going to get a grade on it or whatever. But that's what they want you to do. They just want you to get an idea of writing a paragraph, and you're telling somebody what the front of your church looks like. Maybe somebody that has never been to your church. And you're just describing what you would see if you'd be sitting on the bench. What do you see when you're looking up front at your church? And start on one side and just move around. That's called spatial order. And then the next one is order of importance. And that is where you start either from the most important and go down to the least, or start at the least and go to the most. One of these paragraphs over on the left is written in order of importance. And again, you're supposed to write a paragraph persuading somebody or telling somebody why they should attend a Christian school. Now, there's a lot of reasons why do we come to Cold Springs and not go to the public school in town? What's the reason you think that your mom and dad would want you to go to a Christian school? What are the benefits of going to a Christian school? Why do you like going to a Christian school? And you do it in order of importance. Either start with the most important or the least important and work down or up, whatever you want to do. But that's your 3 paragraphs that you're writing today. Write neat and have anywhere at least 5 sentences in your paragraphs. You can come up with at least 5, I think. Write it neat. Make sure your words are spelled correctly, and hand them in with your book today, and I'll score them. But shouldn't be too hard. I think you'll do good. That is it for today. Have a great day.